Welcome in on this rainy Wednesday morning. Sad news to start today. Ted Turner has passed away at the age of 87. Captain Courageous, the great America Cubs teams, where he got a little over the edge, you could say, when they won. He was rather an outgoing guy on occasion, a brilliant guy, let's face it. He's the one that really pushed cable television. He started CNN, the first guy to see an all-news station that would work. We called them super stations at the time, TBS, the one that he owned in Atlanta, but it was all because he was a forerunner, a pusher of cable TV. Other stations in Chicago, WGN, WOR in New York, which all had sports teams on it, the Cubs, the Mets, and obviously the Braves. It was all because they were on the cable that he sort of was a visionary of. He was one of the first guys that really pushed cable TV. We hadn't heard from him in a long time. Most likely that is because I believe he's had dementia for probably a decade. But a genius without question, a character without question, married to Jane Fonda. I think a really neat guy. Ted Turner has passed away at the age of 87. The defending champions last night in the NBA played rather average and yet beat the Los Angeles Lakers by almost 20. 108-90, your final. Tigers basketball still needs at least one more player. It's a big. There could be 5 years of eligibility for everyone. What's the uproar with UAB? Penny Hardaway replacing Joe Dank, who is off to his daughter's wedding today. Penny Hardaway will be our guest at 10:25. We got another signature event in golf, and we'll make our golf picks with the guys. That'll come at 10:45. And crazy enough, public golf, I've never seen this. Public golf courses are all closed today. It just came out. They sent an email out. So if you were planning on playing today, using maybe some sort of scuba diving equipment, you're not going to be able to. They've closed all of the public courses. One thing, and then it'll be Dennis time. The NCAA football coaches, their coaches association, have called for 4 changes that they would like to see when it comes to the near future. They'd like to see, 1, the end of conference championship games. This is to shorten the season a bit. 2, reducing open weeks to 1. 3, preserve the Army-Navy game exclusive window, but allow postseason games to be played on that day. And reducing the minimum of 6 days between games. In other words, that's the most you have to have at least 6 days between games. I can remember the Tigers playing 2 games in like a 3 or 4 day stretch, and that's really dangerous. So there's 2 of these I like. One I'm ambivalent about, and one I really don't want to see. I don't want to see the end of conference championship games. I think it's a cool thing. I think that's part of how you're going to determine who gets to be the group of 6 champion. And it could be, who gets into a favored spot, a better seed when it comes to the playoffs. I think the conference championship games have merit. Reducing open weeks from 2 to 1, I like that. And when you expand the field so much, there's going to be sometimes weeks like the bowl games in particular, even the playoffs where you're off for 4 weeks. How can you keep continuity? I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm ambivalent about the exclusive window for the Army-Navy game. I don't care about that. If they're both in the conference, even though that conference game, it doesn't count as a conference game. So, but I do think they should allow other games to be played that day. So I'm ambivalent about that. And the thing about the reduction of days to make sure you got at least 6 between games, I'm all for that. So I'm for 2 of those things. Definitely against one, and ambivalent about the others. In the meantime, he was missing last week, but here he is, live and in color. We got a time change.
It's time for Dennis O'Dave. Dennis on Dave. Dennis on Dave. Welcome to Dennis on Dave.
Conference championship games and bowl games are all on their way out.
Well, if they go to 24 teams, the bowl games certainly are going to lose a lot of validation.
They serve no purpose, and conference championship games aren't necessary anymore. Yes, it's great to have all the fanfare for it, but it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. They're both going to be gone because of the playoffs in college football. Bryson DeChambeau, you were mentioning golf. I'm sure you saw this, that DeChambeau, who I think he's gotten the impression that he's not exactly going to be welcomed back into the PGA with open arms.
I think that's a correct assumption.
So he's announced that he says if, but we all know when, Live Golf ceases to exist, considering after this season, they don't have any funding. So Live Golf is going to cease to exist. He's going to try to make his living on YouTube.
It's so funny. I have this down to talk a little bit with the guys later. But I was trying to think of, here's a guy who got, like 250 or 300 million guaranteed to go to Live.
Yes.
I know he's got a huge YouTube golf channel. And what is it? Tricks that he does, little videos.
I have no idea. I can't stand
How do you monetize that into the kind of money he's used to making? You win a signature event on the PGA Tour, that's $3.6 million. You win a major, it's $4 million. What's he going to get from a trick shot hitting a ball over his house in Dallas? You might get 50 million views or whatever the heck a great record would be for YouTube. But how do you monetize that?
I assume by selling advertising.
I get you, but
that's the only possible way.
You think you're going to get $4 million for that?
And the new Live CEO, Scott O'Neill, who replaced Greg Norman, traitor, said that he's had several calls from high-profile investors for Live Golf, which means he's gotten none.
So DeChambeau made this comment, too, about, we have this team concept. We can sell our teams for $200 million. So,
to whom?
And for what?
Yeah.
How do you get a return on investment there?
Why does anybody want that? And they're really married to this team golf concept.
I know.
And I think everybody, and you're very serious about golf. I watch a lot of golf. I don't care anything about team golf.
I don't either.
Golf is not a team sport. Golf is one poor guy trying not to fall apart.
Ryder Cup and,
on the back
and America Cup, I like that.
And that's fine, but that's really
President's Cup, I should say.
No, that's sort of novelty stuff anyway. That's not what we think of as golf. Golf is an individual sport. Let's see, the Magic hired Jamal Mosley 5 years ago when they sucked as much as a Rob Schneider movie. He turned that team around. That team, they were terrible. They've gone to the playoffs 3 years in a row. Yes, exited in the first round, but they've gone to the playoffs 3 years in a row, so naturally, the Magic fired him.
Well, here's two reasons why. One, once you start going to the playoffs, the expectations are you have to win a round. That's one. Two, and maybe more important, Banchero, the star, doesn't like him. That's the issue.
Well, we all know that is the rite of passage for an NBA superstar is to get their coach fired.
He did.
Every major star in the history of the NBA has gotten a coach fired.
You think Ja got Taylor Jenkins?
I don't think of Ja as being a superstar in the NBA.
Oh.
But certainly, there's no way Mosley was responsible for the Magic missing 23 consecutive shots and blowing a 3-1 lead in a series.
And a big lead in the game.
His team, look, they did it. He did a good job of getting them there, and they couldn't do their job, so naturally, he got screwed. But let's get to some important news. Major League Pickleball.
Oh.
That's right, Major League Pickleball. We'll just think of that. We'll call that MLP. Major League Pickleball has merged with the Professional Pickleball Association, or the PPA.
Wow.
This
can't
is
live
big.
in the PGA, follow this lead?
This is AFL, NFL merging. This is major news in sports. Those two have merged because, oh, God, who cares? Do they really think that we're going to pay to watch a sport that was invented because tennis is too difficult for middle-aged people to play? That's all pickleball is. Pickleball is easy tennis.
Let's say it was a beautiful alternative with less injury for those that are no longer as mobile or flexible as they once were.
You just rephrased exactly what I said.
But I did it much less offensively
It's
than
easy
you.
tennis. That's all it is easy tennis. Last year, MLP generated $140 million.
What?
Yes, that's right.
You're
Pickleball,
serious?
Major League Pickleball.
How did they generate that?
$140 million is nothing.
Wait, how did they do that? What, ticket sales to their tournaments?
I guess, or and I assume probably
They don't have
some
a big
kind of
TV deal.
some kind of broadcast licensing. I'm sure was involved in this, but $140 million in the world of sports is pocket change. That's $40 million less than Cristiano Ronaldo makes a year by himself. $140 million in the grand scheme of things in professional sports is nothing. But I'm still pulling. I'm pulling for him. For Major League Pickleball.
I'm all for it. Have you played pickleball yet?
No.
I really would kind of like to, except for one thing. I'm just scared of an Achilles snap. I know several people that have. I once walked into Campbell Clinic. This is the truth. This is pickleball. This is a couple of years ago. Pickleball had just started to pick up a lot of momentum, and there was a framed picture of a quote which said, "Pickleball, an orthopedic surgeon's dream."
Well, there you go. Because there's a bunch of middle-aged people doing something stupid. Speaking of middle-aged people doing something stupid, I am getting back into the gym myself.
Good.
Inside Out gym in Cooper Young in Cortland. I'm getting back into kickboxing.
Kickboxing?
Yes. I haven't. I stopped. When the gym closed for COVID, it closed for a year, and I got out of the habit, and I'm just now getting back into it, and everything hurts.
Oh, I bet.
Every single part of me hurts. Speaking of tennis, Sabalenka, the
yes,
far and away the best women's tennis player.
Well, I'm surprised she's not won as many majors. If her mental toughness was as good as her physical toughness, she'd be like one of the Williams sisters.
Well, she's still a huge force.
Oh, yeah,
She did. What was it? She just
became the player.
She just became the 10th woman to 82 straight something. She, along with Coco Gauff and Yannick Sinner and a bunch of other of the top players, are talking about a proposed boycott because they believe they deserve a larger percentage of the revenue of the major tournaments. The French, the players got less than 15% of the revenue for the French Open. And so they're talking about a work stoppage. Let me ask you this.
Wait. All the players.
Yeah.
So this isn't this is a female-male thing.
These are top men and women.
Okay.
Top players are talking.
They're saying of the revenue that comes from the event, they only get 15%.
They get less than 15%,
and they want a better.
And they
share.
want more, and they have every right to want more because, as Sabalenka said, without us, there wouldn't be a tournament and there wouldn't be the entertainment. I definitely think we deserve a larger percentage.
I would think that's fair.
She thinks that a boycott is inevitable, but the question, of course, is we only pay attention to tennis 4 times a year.
Correct. No, my question for you is that the percentage everywhere, or is that just the French? In other words,
gather it's the
what
majors.
do they do at Wimbledon?
No, I gather it's the majors that they're talking about.
And US Open,
they're getting ripped off in playing in the majors, and they're talking about boycotting major tournaments, and that would be crippling to tennis. But tennis is a fringe sport. It's something that we only pay attention to 4 times a year. It's not a good idea to strike. There's got to be another way to do this. I think what we're talking about is threatening to strike.
I got it. I do think that there's more attention paid to it than just the 4 times. That event in Miami, gets a lot of play.
Oh, at Indian Wells?
Indian Wells is in California. The one in Miami.
The one in Miami. It gets a little bit of attention.
They get decent play. I don't know what the percentage there is. I think that they are stars. I think it's a viable sport. And if they're only getting 15%, they got in my estimation, they got a real gripe.
Somebody who will not have a big gripe, Fox Sports is going to pay somebody $50,000 to watch every World Cup match in a glass box in Times Square.
Oh, God. I'd probably do that.
20 days. You're talking about 20 days.
$50 grand in 20 days?
In a glass box. Watching,
somebody's going to do it.
Watching, Ghana versus Liberia, and then having to create content in a glass box in Times Square. Times Square is a lot safer than it used to be, but it still better be a bulletproof glass box. It was going to be tough, because there's just going to be some crank who's going to be like, really? You're getting $50K to just sit there and watch soccer? Now, frankly, I'm not going to lie to you. You couldn't pay me enough to watch every World Cup match. $50,000 is not nearly enough money to watch 20 straight days of soccer. I won't watch one day of
I think
soccer.
the worst part would be in a box that everybody's watching you. I mean, that would be kind of crazy.
Well, there's a lot of people that is the entire appeal. I get to be a novelty on ESPN, for 20 days. And
what would it take for you? $1 million?
Okay, yes, I would watch 20 days of soccer.
Everybody's got their price. Come on.
I think there are very few things I wouldn't do for $1 million.
I'm not going there.
And finally, because I know you want to clear room for Coach Hardaway. I didn't know this. We've all had trouble over the last 7 or 8 years pronouncing Tua Tagovailoa's name. You know what his middle name is?
Oh, no. If it's a tongue twister, what is it?
Donnie.
All we got to go is Tui. Hey, wait. Tui Donnie. It's TD.
Just Donnie. Just call the guy Donnie and give us all a break. If you've ever seen his first name spelled out, it just looks like somebody took a fistful of Scrabble tiles and threw them on a table. But yeah, his middle name is Donnie. Donnie let's just call him Donnie.
I like that. Or TD. Tua Donnie. I like that part. I think that's really good. That's it, huh?
That's it. Come see me at Inside Out Gym.
Okay.
I don't want to have to box alone.
They got to be old to box with you, though, right?
You have to be an adult, yes.
Yes, okay. Just a reminder to everybody, including you, Dennis Philippi, this Sunday, it's Mother's Day.
Yes, it is.
It is Mother's Day. Dinstall's has her favorites ready to sweeten her day, and you get to share with those, so your day will be sweetened too. And I'm talking chocolate-covered strawberries. That won the tournament they had just a little while ago. You can also get grapes and pineapples covered in chocolate. They got the truffles. They got the turtlettes. That was second. Cashew Crunch. That was third. Call or stop by today and place your order. You can say, thank you, Mom, or I love you, Mom, with Dinstall's. It's always sweeter that way, and 5 places to get it. Downtown, in the burbs, Collierville, and Germantown. You can get it in my neck of the woods, Laurelwood, or you can get it where they make it. That's on Pleasant View. This Sunday's Mother's Day, sweeten it up with Dinstall's. And we're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios. A reminder to everybody, the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo's going on. But we're not calling it that. We're calling it the Battle of the Brands, because there are 7 manufacturers all fighting for your business with great prices. Hot tubs starting at under $3,500. How about the great big swim spa starting at under $17,000? That sounds like a lot, but it's really a deal. And if you mention us, you get a free cover lift with every spa purchase. Go check it out. That's Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road. We take the break. When we come back, Coach Penny Hardaway, front and center, right here on Wolo and Friends.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Running a business is hard enough. But cleaning a business? Your time's too valuable for that. You need High-Low Commercial Services, dedicated professional cleaners with 15 years of cleaning experience. High-Low customizes your cleaning needs, and you get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. Shopping center, retail spaces, medical, legal offices, High-Low cleans it all. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That is MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
We're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawald Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawald is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Hey!
Welcome back in as we are endeavoring to get a hold of Penny Hardaway, scheduled to join us here to talk on a myriad of subjects. He'll be brought to you in part by Southern Security. You need cash? You can refinance your auto loan with Southern Security. You won't have a payment for 60 days. And Southern Security will finance up to 115% of the current value of your vehicle for up to 72 months. So how do you put more cash in your pocket? Call somebody at Southern Security. You can call a team member at 901-452-7900, or you can apply on the website. That is southernsecurity.org. Southern Security is a proud supporter of U of M athletics. They are federally insured by NCUA, best credit union around. You voted that the last 6 years, 7 different locations. What a deal. Southern Security. So we got a lot of things we would like to chat with Penny about, as I think we're getting closer to getting a hold of him. One of those, of course, is this brouhaha with UAB. And Andy Kennedy, I'm really surprised. If you look at his record against Penny, it's not very good. He tweeted out something to the effect of, they pay, we develop. Well, all I can say is it took Yaxel Lindenberg leaving UAB to go to Michigan in order to become a draft choice. When he was at UAB, you played him at center. That's not his position. And he was eaten up by Dane Danger. Just saying. Development, I think Greg and Eli did a count. There were 49 players in the Penny Hardaway era who have played some minutes in the NBA. I wonder how many Andy Kennedy players from UAB could say that. I'm trying to remember. I guess you could count Yaxel next year. There's no way that you could make that claim. But it's interesting that brouhaha started over a guy named Matt Mbole, who, from what I've heard, came here and did not overly impress. So that'll be interesting. This has been a wild year for Penny. If we go back and we start thinking about it, maybe, and we'll ask him if we do finally get in touch with him, you might want to call Dwight Boyd again. Okay. Since the season ended, he had that press conference that was very, very interesting for sure. And as soon as that was over, and he talked about getting a general manager in Gabriel Harris, he then had to build an entire staff, which he has done. He's changed everybody, bringing back his trusted cohort as a player, and originally when he got the job as a head coach, Tony Madlock, who I do think will help with quite a bit of guidance. Gabriel Harris is the GM. You got Deloach and you got Mack. So you got a whole bunch of new guys. You just hired a new strength coach from K-State. That changed everything, and then you had to build a team. And it seems to me this team that he has built was built with a great deal of thought that went into a totally different process than certainly the year before. This one has an alpha. This one's got a point guard that I'm suspecting, because at Northwestern he certainly took on the role as more distributor than scorer, but he's capable of both. You've got a big who's a rebounder and a defender. You retained a really good player in Thedford. You brought in 2 really good freshmen. I think if we apply all of this, this was a great deal, different than you waited on a couple of guys last year. It was too late, and you tried to get everybody that you thought could be a star, a big key guy, and frankly, none of them were winners, and it backfired, and that's why he had the 13-win year. He still has one player left that he could get. He's actually got 2. Got a feeling he's going to save. He's got to get a big. He's got to get a backup big. We know that for sure. And then He's probably going to save a spot, which is exactly what he did 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever it was, when he brought Naquan Tomlin over from Kansas State, because there's always some movement in the middle of the year. But this is a roster that you really kind of believe has been put together totally different than the one that you saw last year. And this one might be entirely different than ones from the past, where you were relying, a few years ago, you relied on just big-time young players. You do have 2 freshmen that are promising, 4-star guys. But this is far away from the Duran, Amani Bates, those kinds of guys. So this is a just an entirely different thing. I apologize to all, because I really did want to talk with Penny today. It looks like we're not going to get Penny, and I'm surprised by that, because last time I talked to him, this was a done deal. But maybe we'll try to get him anywhere near here in the future. Hey, I'd like to know what he thinks about the 5-year eligibility deal. In the meantime, what a superstar Joe Dank is. He's calling from somewhere on the way to his daughter's wedding. What a champ you are. Good morning, Mr. Dank. How are you?
Well, good morning, David. I was enjoying watching and listening to you fill there for a while, and I said, you know what? Why am I listening? I don't have a lot prepared, but I said, hey, I can at least play point counterpoint. I did have a couple of things I thought worth noting that we could talk about.
Okay.
As well as the discussion on the tennis majors, I thought was a good one as well. But just for what it's worth, I did note that the Game 7 Celtics-Sixers on Sunday.
Yes.
David, that is the highest rated first round playoff game in NBA history. So that's an interesting one on NBC the other day. And by the way, another very interesting one, Disney ESPN ended up with the NFL Network and Sunday Ticket as a result of the deal where the NFL ended up owning 10% of ESPN. You recall the deal. Now we're involved in a retrans battle with Xfinity, and if you have noted, NFL Network no longer available on Xfinity, and neither is Sunday Ticket. Now, the Sunday Ticket obviously has no programming. Red Zone. Red Zone has no programming until the season starts. I suspect it'll get settled by the season, but for now, the NFL Network is not available on the Xfinity cable system in Memphis. So just a couple of interesting things that we may have talked about had we planned to visit this morning.
So I actually had the Xfinity thing with no more NFL channel. I have that in my notes for next week for you already, to be honest.
Okay.
I find that to be incredibly interesting. There was no explanation given except that they were no longer allocated. And it's funny, Xfinity had just sent out this questionnaire if you wanted to know about their changes and their lineup and their costs, but it's almost impossible to figure out how to navigate anything to get any answers. So that was kind of frustrating in its own right. I do want to ask you though about the NBA this year. That's obviously the Sixers, a big market in Philly, and the Celtics, one of the two traditional or three really traditional NBA teams in big markets that draw. So is that the reason for that first round success, or do you think overall the NBA is starting to become a more successful entity because of this new TV deal getting so much exposure?
Well, that game in particular was on NBC, so it was, the NBC numbers have been great all season. On Sunday night, Tuesday night was very successful as well. It was the primary driver of the growth in NBA numbers throughout the season. So, as you suggest, clearly those are traditional, old-school, great rivals. And, now we've got the Knicks and the Sixers playing in a series, so that, look for more great numbers. NBC has done a lot right with the NBA, and they've positioned it, they've promoted it, and it's got greater availability because of its over-the-air distribution. So I think those have really driven it, and all of those things. It's a little bit of a planetary alignment, in terms of great rivals, great distribution platform. Well, frankly, some new faces and some new production type elements that NBC has brought to it as well. So all of it comes together, makes a pretty nice package, and it makes that worthwhile. Now, you'll remember, however, just remember last week, we talked about the impact on the bottom line, however, of those NBA rights fees, among others, as it was affecting parent company Comcast, right?
Right. The great thing is we're going to watch these numbers the whole way through and figure this out as it all goes. I'll be curious to see. They kind of moved the Lakers and OKC onto the main NBC at a decent hour last night, so that was where you could watch it. They've had some big games on where you could only watch on Peacock or NBC Sports Net, and I don't see if that gets a lot of penetration or not when you put it on that little thing.
No, those are much more difficult. A Peacock only is certainly not going to do what NBC is going to do, or for that matter, ESPN, So that's just interesting. Yeah, I wanted to just share a couple of quick thoughts on the tennis thing.
Yeah, I was going to go there because if that's accurate, that they only get 15% of the French Open revenue, it seems like the players have a gripe. What's your thoughts?
Well, so keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, in the prize money in these majors are significantly more than your average tour event, right? I mean, you even made reference to Indian Wells and to Miami. The majors still dwarf those, and I don't have those specific numbers, obviously, driving down the road here this morning, but the prize money in the majors is so significantly more that it's sometimes hard to have great appreciation for the gripe, especially of the players at the level that we're talking about, with all of their other revenue-generating opportunities that come before them. The normal tour, the ATP, which is the men, or the WTA, which is the women, those deals amount to about 22% of the revenue that the tournament generates. And so the player share is 15 in the majors, but the money is so much more, so that the gross dollars are unbelievable, as opposed to if you're playing just the normal tour stop over the course of the year. The other thing is this, the amenities that the players demand and that the facilities that are in demand. You got to remember, so the French Open is a 15-day event, right? Mm-hmm. You have to make everything in those 15 days. All of these facilities where the majors have been played have been upgraded so remarkably, including roofs over not one but two, and in some cases three. Australia has 3 roofs. And so, if you've got 15 days to generate the revenue, you can't be giving it all away and still be improving your facilities and meeting every need of every player. It's just interesting. Sooner or later, sometimes people will understand, you might hope, that both owners and workers, or, labor and the owner class, it's okay for everybody to do well, right? And if one's doing well, they don't have to take advantage of the other. So maybe there's something you come off of. But, it's increasingly difficult to always hear about people at the highest level talking about the need for either a player union or a player boycott or something else. Sooner or later, I think always there's fan fatigue to that type of talk. And all of this, frankly, is a precursor to something that is very real, and that's going to be the baseball situation next year, where that one's going to be really difficult.
Right. Well,
Go ahead.
We've got to talk about that in future shows for sure. But I just want to go back to one thing. I believe it's the NBA that get 53% of the revenue. I don't know what the NFL is, but I'm figuring it's right around there, 50%. I would think that the tennis players have a gripe, and I understand you're arguing about increasing venues and making things change, and you basically got 2 weeks to make your money. But if it's only 15% of the gross revenue, and all the other major leagues are giving 50%, it would seem to me the players have a gripe.
Well, I would only say this, that there's a significant, that's such an apple and an oranges comparison to begin with, only because, the NFL has an established thing. You have a season-long situation. You have a year-round media deal. All of those are different, and each of these things are different. The individual sports that we're talking about, tennis being one of them, golf being another, these are sports where people play by themselves and they earn on a merit-based system, which is called winning. And so you do that. The purses are gigantic. I mean, they're making huge sums of money at these majors if they win. So, I'm not saying they don't have a huge gripe, but I'm just saying that the economics of these events are interesting in that you don't have a year-round, an NBA team has 41 home dates, an NFL team has 7 or 8 home dates to generate these monies, and then they have year-round media deals. The majors each have their own media deal. They're standalone operating entities. And they're spread throughout the world. So I'm just saying I would hate to see. I happen to be a big tennis fan, and I've been to 3 of the 4 majors myself already, and I've been to the Miami and Indian Wells tournaments you talked about. Yeah. So I've seen these facilities, I've seen the setups, I've seen these players play and practice and interacted where you can with them and things. So I am a big fan of the sport. I would hate to see something affect play at this year's Roland Garros event or later in the year at Wimbledon. The greatest problem people have is when there's so much money, all you're doing is arguing who gets the biggest share.
There you go. We will discuss again. Have a great time at the wedding, and we'll see you next Wednesday right here.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Thank you for filling in. I apologize again, folks. I thought Penny Hardaway was going to be a guest on the show today. That did not come out. I do have a clarification. It's 47 Tigers, not that all time have played in the NBA, not in the Penny era. I believe, and I should have known better because Jason Munz, I think, said in the Penny Hardaway era it's like 9 guys. I don't know how many in the Andy Kennedy era UAB have played in that many games. We got golf picks we got to make in just a minute. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Sheldon Rosengarten, the worst golfer in town because he can never practice. They call him Mr. 3-Putt or Mr. Shank. It's because he's always working 24/7, 365. Like a good player, he's got a plan. And when it comes to the strategy in selling a home, he executes the plan. You got to plan your work your plan, right? That's what you got to do, and that's what he does. He's got this marketing strategy that's fantastic. It's just for 40 years, it's sold houses, gotten people to the closing table quicker than anybody else. And Sheldon will tell you, talk to 2 or 3 real estate brokers, just make sure he's one of them. Then when he starts telling you the strategy and you know he's with you there 24/7 to guide you, you're going to get to that closing table quick for the money you want. How do you get a hold of him? 483-0546. Or you can go to the website, memphisrelocate.com. You'll see what I'm talking about, all the raves he gets on social media. That's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Go see Sheldon. We take the break. When we come back, golf picks and a whole lot more. Johnny Lyons, Greg Hines, John, Mickey Barker, all joining us in just a minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I have solved one of life's great puzzles.
That seems really unlikely.
I have.
Okay, what puzzle?
What to give people as wedding presents when they're out of town.
It's not that big of a puzzle.
Oh, yeah? What would you do?
I would ship them some yummy Central Barbecue. So what were you going to say?
Ship them some yummy Central Barbecue? Because they have great packages.
Yeah, like the ribs pack, the pulled pork pack, even the combo pack.
This is all stuff that I was going to say.
I know. You're always going to go to the Central Barbecue well.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Why does Progressive help support truckers? Because truckers unite the world. Truckers unite whistles and lifeguards. Truckers unite fitness devices with people who don't exercise. Truckers unite your aunt with those live, laugh, love signs. But truckers can't do any of this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive helps safe truckers save an average of $6,181 when they elect to share their ELD data with us. Get a quote at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. 2025 National Average Safe Driver Enrollment Discount Savings for new Progressive customers excludes mandatory program participants. Not available in all states. Driving data could increase or decrease premiums at renewal.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in. We make golf picks on Wednesday. We bring in Mickey Barker from Public Golf, Johnny Lyons, Greg Hines from Windyke. It is incredible how Greg Hines is doing. $10 million. He again was a big winner last week. He had $3,769,000 because he picked the winner, Cam Young. I had a good week, $2,271,000. I had Scotty, but I'm in third. Johnny, not a good week last week, but $6.5 million. He is in second, and now Mickey Barker, only $225,000 last night, $4,135,000, about $500,000. 400,000 behind me, so he will be picking first. I want to start with Mickey Barker. I've never seen this before. I got your email this morning. All the public courses are closed because of the rain. I've never seen that before. This is only for one day, right?
It is just for today. We got rain coming in, and just good to get everybody notice ahead of time in case they want to slide out this afternoon. We've gotten so much water in the last day. We just need to go ahead and close today.
And I get asked this all the time by the players that love playing Audubon. How close are you to breaking ground on that clubhouse?
We are close. We're on schedule to break ground within the next few weeks, really.
Okay. Oh, wow. I can't wait. We'll break that story right here, Mickey Barker. Let's go down the road here. Greg Hines at Windyke Country Club. Are you closed today for rain?
We are not. We are not.
Okay.
So we're a little sloppy, but it'll be a good day. And,
I want to know who's playing today.
A good day to have it happen.
Yeah, I want to know who's playing today. That's a hardy group that goes out there in plays in that. The Truist is the 6th signature event. 72 players, no cut, $3.6 million. Again, it's at Quail Hollow. Last year, the PGA was the PGA at Quail Hollow last year? I know it's been played at Quail Hollow. That's a great golf course, Greg Hines.
Oh, man, it's number 3 on tour last year in terms of difficulty, and the last 3 holes are considerably the 3 hardest holes in golf every year. They're in the top 10 of the 3 hardest holes in golf. So 18 averages 4.5 the last 2 years, and scoring for par 4, so almost a half shot over par. And the last 2 times I've played it there.
And Johnny Lyons, it's supposed to be beautiful there. Have you ever played that course?
No, I haven't. No, Charlotte, but they got 2 tournaments going on this weekend.
Yeah, they do. They have the One Flight Myrtle Beach where Brooks Koepka is playing because he can't play. The punishment from coming back from Live, he can't play in signature events unless he gets a win or enough FedEx Cup points. Is he going to win that tournament, Johnny?
He's probably got a really good chance. That's where I won the Golf Writers Championship, the Dunes Club.
Right.
My favorite course, and where Arnie gave me the trophy. So I got a lot of sentiment about that place. But, I think Brooks Koepka's probably a hands-down favorite there this week.
Speaking of sentiment, how about Doug Barron? Doug, I give Doug a lot of credit. I'll start with Greg Hines on this. Doug is a guy that did not get eligibility on the senior tour right away, had to go qualify to get in there and had to go overseas to do that and was able to do that. And he's been incredibly good. He finished 5th, tied for 5th in the major down in Birmingham at Greystone last week, but I don't think people give enough credit because it's not that easy. Like Sean McKeel, who won a major, the PGA, he has no eligibility on the senior tour, which seems weird to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. Doug is, really recommitted himself when he turned 50, and what a run he's had, and through injuries and everything else. But I mean, he won there at the Regions a few years ago, and he's won 2 other times. I mean, he's had a great run on the senior tour, and it's not. I mean, this is my opinion. It's not set up easily for people who are not big name players on the regular tour to go out there and make a living out there. They really tighten the requirements and the options down. They want to have the Fred Couples and the bigger names playing as much as they can.
Well, another big name there is Stuart Sink. He's ripping it apart, and he was the winner of that major. I think it's his 2nd major win this year. Mickey, explain this to me. You're a smart guy. You're a businessman. How is Bryson DeChambeau going to monetize YouTube golf to make the kind of money he's making on Live?
Well, he's probably already making close to that. I mean, YouTube is unbelievable how much money these guys, the content creators, I guess they're called, are making. Between Bryson and then the good guys and Grant Horvat. I mean, it's absolutely tremendous amounts of money.
Are you talking like $100 million, which is what he's making at Live?
Yeah, that kind of money.
Wow.
I believe I was listening to the good guys on something, and they sold some of the investment part of it, and they were, each one of them was in the double digits of millions of dollars in selling just part of their interest.
Wow. Well, that'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with his future, depending on what happens with Liv. I know we got to get to our picks before we run out of time. I love this Quail Hollow golf course, by the way. No Scotty Scheffler, and I don't have the first pick. That now belongs to Mickey Barker. Where are you going to go with this?
Well, wasn't very smart of passing on Cam Young last week, but you would think he would be tired, and especially sandwiched in between a major. So, but I think I'll still pick him anyway.
Cam Young?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that makes it easy for me. These are trouble. When he wins a tournament, can you win back-to-back that easy? And especially the way he did it? I say no. I say Rory will win this tournament as he settles in to try to win the PGA the following week, which, by the way, is in Adirondack, the Adirondack Club in Pennsylvania. Johnny, you're up next.
Yeah, Quail Hollow is the only golf course on the tour that's designed by George Cobb, who also designed Stonebridge.
Huh.
And anyway, it's a long one, 75-46. I'm going to go with Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
my man.
I cannot blame you for that. All right, Mr. Hines, you've just been incredible. 10,102. You've picked winners right and left. Your streak has to come to an end at some point.
I mean, I thought for sure a couple weeks ago, if I finished last that week, I'd have had more money. I just didn't understand the rules. So,
please.
I will go with Siwoo Kim.
Wow. Yeah, he's rated high in the power ratings. That's for sure. Yeah, he is. Siwoo Kim. Okay, that leaves you, Mickey.
Tough pick here. He played really good last week. Finished third. Ben Griffin.
Well,
I wanted Ben.
I was taking Ben Griffin. I cannot believe that you actually took that away from me. I never win with this guy. He's got to crack through one of these times. He plays 2 great rounds and then finds a way to screw it up. But maybe this is the week because he can hit it pretty far. I'll go with Ludwig Oberg. Johnny.
Well, that's no surprise because you love Ludwig.
I do.
And you take him every week. But, yeah. I'm going to have to go with my man Xander.
Okay, I figured you would.
He's warming up.
Well, he's due. He's not played as well as I would have thought. All right, Greg, that leaves you a bunch of folks still out there.
Sepp Straka.
Okay. Right back to Mickey.
Well, I guess we'll go with Ricky Fowler. Been playing well.
He has.
He's won on that golf course, so I think that's the way to go.
Okay. Oh, boy. Here's a guy who's not played that well this year. There's guys like Alex Smalley out there. Nick Taylor's been playing well. Jason Day has played well at this golf course. I'm going to go with Tommy Fleetwood because he's due to play well. He has not played well. So I'll go with Fleetwood. Johnny.
Okay, number 3, last pick. Going with Alex Smalley.
Alex Smalley, I just mentioned him. He's played really good of late. All right, last pick.
All right, man, I have decided this year I'm going to go a little off board occasionally. Denny McCarthy.
Denny McCarthy. I think I saw him as a best bet for a top 30 position. So there you go. All right, Cam Young, Ben Griffin, Ricky Fowler to Mickey Barker, Wolo, I've got Rory, Oberg, and Fleetwood. Johnny's got Matthew Fitzpatrick, Xander Schauffele, and Alex Smalley, Siwoo Kim, Sepp Straka, and Denny McCarthy from out of nowhere for Greg Hines. Gentlemen, as always, I thank you, and we will hook up again next Wednesday.
Yep, thank you, Willow.
Thank
We didn't get a chance to talk about the Doral much, but Donald Trump was there, and I think he was the real winner.
Yeah, and he's got a live event this week. He's the only guy that could pull all of that off. And that will do it for us. The picks have been brought to you by Public Links. And a reminder, they'll be open tomorrow, but because of all the rain, they are closed today. And we learned today it's real close now that the Audubon Clubhouse will be opened. So I apologize to everybody once again. I thought for sure Penny was going to come on today. Maybe we'll try to get him in the next week or so when it's a guaranteed deal. Tomorrow, usual show. Pete Prenick will be with us to start things off and a whole bunch more, including Jarvo at the end. So that does it for us on this rainy day. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. Have a great